stripped the bed and tidied away any lingering signs of life. No bedside water glass, discarded clothes or slippers waiting to warm up cold feet. Only a sad collection of worn clothes graced the drawers and small wardrobe. Arcadia's once extensive collection of designer ball gowns and outfits for every occasion had been mothballed long ago, useless once the war was over and her social life had become moribund. Esme took just her mother's jewellery case. Everything else could be boxed by the removers, and firmly closed the door, glad to leave the room. She strolled into the sitting room, noting that her mother's life was a little less Spartan here. Her collection of avant-garde paintings, vivid splashes of daring colour and movement, relieved the dull spread of off-white dust sheets. A bookcase adorned one wall, its shelves filled with Arcadia's library of vanity-published books, neatly stacked by publication date, with at least 6 copies of every title. She uncovered Arcadia's prized chaise longue, the one on which her mother always claimed her best inspiration came. Perching on the end of it, she opened the jewellery case. Only costume pieces remained. Imitation pearls, crystals, and strings of coloured beads. Gone were the diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, sold to pay the bills, no doubt. She lifted the tray of trinkets, and underneath found 2 photographs, faded and crinkled. One of a baby, another of a young soldier. Neither carried a date or name on the back, but the baby must be her, or even Arcadia, she supposed. The soldier, however, bore no resemblance to her father. The pictures had probably been secreted there for years, forgotten. All the same, Esme's curiosity was piqued. She put the box aside to consider its contents later and crossed to the mahogany roll-top desk. The drawers were filled with old bills, bank statements, diaries detailing every dinner party Arcadia had held, the guests, the menu, the flowers, the seating plan, and piles of notebooks where Arcadia jotted ideas for her novels. On the desktop was more recent correspondence, writing paper, pens, stamps, and a cheap exercise book, filled with her mother's loopy scrawl, which appeared to be the draft of her current work in progress, The Art of Artifice. Esme's heart sank. It felt like a clarion call, a final request from the grave. She sighed, irritated at being burdened with such a task. She'd read it when she had time, and if it had merit, she'd get it published as homage to her mother. A clearing of the decks. Time marched, and the removers were due in an hour. Despite Arcadia's minimal belongings, Esme still had to sort her possessions into piles for the auction house, various charities, and those to throw out. She'd keep a selection of her books, although, as a shy teenager, she'd dismissed Arcadia's work as romantic rubbish after being made to read a passage from Sunrise Over Heartache at a private, at-home event. Standing before the assembled throng, Esme had blushed scarlet and stumbled her way through several blue paragraphs about a schoolgirl frolicking in the woods looking for butterflies and grubs, but finding only the farmer's son. Perhaps her mother's voracious output would stimulate Esme's creative juices. An injection of her mother's purple prose might be just what she needed to put the demons to rest. Although Esme's first novel, The View from Here, had garnered positive reviews, she'd since suffered crippling self-doubt. Arcadia, who had a powerhouse of belief in her own dubious talents, had merely chivied her along, saying, "Harden up, Esme. You'll never be a successful author if you buckle under criticism." From the bookcase, she pulled a novel at random, Love on the Farm, and read the overblown notes on the flyleaf. Arcadia Fanstone, renowned for the passion and romance of her works, once again enthralls with this sweeping saga, the second in her farm trilogy. Another caught her attention. We Will Overcome. She smiled. Really, her mother's